So, here we are. This is the new 2025 Merida Scultura 8000 road bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and I will also tell you, should you just go ahead and buy it or should you just shortlist this bike. So hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. So you see, this new 2025 Merida Scultura 8000 has a retail price of 4,800 British pounds and kind of similar values in euros, probably around 5,000 to 5,500 euros. And Merida Bikes you can't buy on the US market. So the main reason for that is that Merida has a 49% equity ownership of Specialized, and that was the deal between Merida and Specialized, that Merida won't be selling their bikes in the US. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because this Merida Scultura 8000, in my opinion, is just a stunning bike, and especially considering the retail price of 4,800 British pounds. Okay, so when we speak about the Merida Scultura range, the first thing is to answer who is this bike for. So you see, Merida Scultura was always originally designed as the lightweight bike. Now, of course, in this final iteration, latest iteration for 2025, you can clearly see some aerodynamically tweaks on the frame and the fork, and also on the handlebar and the stem, but still, the main DNA of this bike is to be a lightweight climbing machine. And also, from some of the data that I've managed to find out, this bike in size medium will be approximately 7.5-7.6 kilograms, excluding pedals. So immediately you can make a brief comparison with the Specialized Tarmac SL8, which in a similar sizing will probably have a total weight of about 7.3 kilograms, so still about 200 or 300 grams lighter than this Merida Scultura 8000, but then of course you are paying much more money for that Specialized SL8 bike than you would pay for this Merida Scultura 8000. So okay, now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what will you get for your hard-earned money. We can kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike, and this frame and the matching fork is the carbon fiber frame and the fork from Merida. This is their CF3 level of the carbon fiber frame and the fork. This is not the highest level that Merida can do. They have their CF5 level of the carbon fiber frames and the fork, so this would be like the second tier. But make no mistake, Merida has huge experience in making carbon fiber frames and forks, and this is absolutely going to be perfectly fine and excellent carbon fiber frame and the fork. Also here you can see 12mm through axles, front and the back, press fit bottom bracket on this frame, all internally routed cables, and a bit of aerodynamically optimized frame with the classical dropped seat stays and a bit kind of aerodynamically optimized fork. Merida offers a lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frames, which is absolutely excellent, and I definitely know that their customer service is also top notch. If you really have any problems with these frames, they would definitely sort it out. Okay, so moving on to some of the smaller pieces like the handlebar and the stem. So in this instance, for the 2025 season, Merida has included a one-piece handlebar and the stem carbon fiber piece, and this is all because of more aerodynamically optimized bike and going a bit faster in straight line. But the negative side is that when you are choosing the sizing of this bike, you really have to make sure that this specific one-piece handlebar and the stem is gonna fit you, because once when you buy this bike, there is no fine-tuning on the position, and also if you need to replace it, of course it's a bit of a proprietary piece, so then it's always a problem of finding a matching handlebar and the stem, or again another one-piece cockpit. This is interesting because in the previous generation of the Scultura, for the 2024 season, Merida was offering a separate handlebar and the stem. These were aluminum pieces, and in my opinion, this was a perfectly fine solution because you could easily replace any parts, and also you could finally tune your position on the bike. So this is something also worth asking your local Merida bike dealer, that I believe they can easily swap you this one-piece handlebar and the stem if you don't like it, or they can easily swap you, I'm guessing, for this two-piece handlebar and the stem which was on the previous model. For example, this would also be nice to include on the Merida website, that you can have a choice between, do you want a one-piece handlebar and the stem which is carbon fiber, or maybe do you want a two-piece combination where handlebar would be carbon fiber and then the stem would be aluminum. Personally, I would go with the two-piece handlebar and the stem, just because of, easily replacing parts in the future and also adjusting your position on the bike. So just keep that in mind on the new 2025 model, that this is a one-piece handlebar and the stem. Looking at the seat post and the saddle, excellent carbon fiber seat post from Merida. It will definitely soak up some of the smaller road bumps, which is always, desired on these lightweight climbing bikes. And the saddle from Pro Logo, I believe that, pretty decent saddle. But again, since a bunch of these saddles are a personal preference, it's going to be very easy to replace this in the future if you really want. Now we can move on to the group set on this bike. So what will you get? So here, everything from the shifters, front mech and rear mech, is the Shimano Ultegra Di2 electronic group set. So this is a 12-speed electronic group set from Shimano. Absolutely superb. I have no complaints here. And also worth noting that the crankset is also Shimano Ultegra 5236 chain rings, so they absolutely didn't cut corners here. Also the cassette, Shimano Ultegra cassette. Worth noting here is that this cassette is 1130, and maybe you will need a bigger gear ratio in this instance if you really live in a mountainous area, because I don't think this 1130 cassette paired with the 36 chainring at the front will be enough to climb some of the really steep mountains. So maybe you will want to upgrade here to 1134 cassette, and again, it would be nice if Merida included immediately this 1134 cassette on this bike, out of the box. But this is just something to consider if you really climb a lot of mountains and live in this kind of steep mountainous area. All in, the chain, 12-speed Shimano chain. You can use any 12-speed Shimano chain in the future when you destroy this one, but generally speaking, Shimano Ultegra Di2 electronic group set, stunning, excellent group set. Also here, when it comes to the braking system, Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, both front and the back. Also in this instance, they are using a stunning Shimano Ultegra CL 800 rotors, both front and the back, and they are both 160 millimeters, both front and the back, which is superb. So no cutting corners or on any of these tiny 140 millimeter braking rotors on the back. These 160mm braking rotors are going to have superb heat dissipation and superb stopping power. And this is what I always like to see when the bike manufacturers are speccing their bikes. 160mm rotors should be a must-have in my opinion. Okay, moving on to the wheels and tires. This frame and the fork can accept maximum of 30mm tires, so front and the back, and in this instance Merida is using the Continental GP 5000 STR tires, 28mm front and the back, stunning tire, excellent stuff, and also I'm glad that 28mm is spec'd immediately on the bike, so good air volume, and you're gonna definitely have a smooth bike ride. Now speaking about the wheel set that has been spec'd on this bike, so this is the Reynolds AR46 carbon fiber wheel set. If you are buying this wheel set on the open market, it will set you back approximately $1,500, and this wheel set has 46mm rim height. Internally it is 21mm wide, which is, decent. Again, I wish that this internal width of the rims would be like 23 millimeters, but 21 is kind of decent enough. And also the hubs on this wheelset are the Reynolds own hubs. Worth mentioning here that, of course, the rear hub comes with the 3-pole system, and it has a 10 degrees of engagement. Also 12mm through axles both front and the back, and using a SAPIM spokes, which are, in my opinion, again, excellent spokes on these wheels. 24 spokes both front and the back. Also, the total weight of this carbon fiber wheel set is 1,600 grams, which is a decent weight for a wheel set. I would say that all these carbon fiber wheel sets which are below 1,500 grams would be considered, top level carbon fiber wheel sets in my opinion. So this one, pretty decent specifications, absolutely no special complaints here from me. I'm definitely sure it's going to work, perfectly fine. So all in, considering that this bike retails for 4,800 British pounds, or approximately, let's call it, 5,000 to 5,500 euros, what is my advice to you? Should you just go ahead and buy this bike, or should you just shortlist it? So if you are in the market for the lightweight climbing machine, and definitely, you want a bit of aerodynamically optimized, frame and the fork, handlebar and the stem, then definitely I can advise you to just go ahead and buy this Merida Scultura 8,000 road bike, because I think for the price of 4,800 British pounds, it's an excellent value for money. And this is usually what Merida is famous for, and I would probably say in the old days, Giant was famous for, but now you probably only have something like a Canyon or maybe Cube who can kind of compete with Merida's pricing, again, considering the same levels of equipment and the same kind of weight of the bike, because this bike in size medium will definitely be somewhere in the region of about 7.5, 7.6 kilograms. So all in, an excellent job from Merida with this a little bit updated 2025 Merida Scultura 8,000 road bike. So this is going to be it for me today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!